This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Partial Breakaway Podcast with your hosts Nick and Junior and producer Vince, bringing you elite fantasy hockey information to help you win your fantasy leagues and win at life.
Episode 106 of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We are starting our rankings. I'm Junior. To my right is Nick, and to his right is Vince. Are we ready?
I think we're pretty ready. I think we're ready because of the fact that it's rankings time. It's time of the season right now that people are looking at. They're setting up their dates for the fantasy drafts.
Yeah.
They're getting ready. Okay, guys, I pick third, fourth, fifth. What is going to be available for me around that time? Mm-hmm. What would the Partial Breakaway Podcast do if they were me in this position?
Like if you need a print sheet to show up on your draft, this is what it is.
WWPBPD.
See, already, I don't know what you're saying.
This is going way over my head, Junior. You got to tell me. Explain your joke.
Remember when I was in high school, there was "What would Jesus do?" and then everyone was wearing bracelets. WWJD.
Yeah, when you were in high school, I was already graduated university. Exactly. All right, so Junior, why don't you tell people where they could find us?
All right. So the most important thing you need to know is that you can follow along on our social media platforms, which is TikTok, X, Instagram at Partial Break Pod. Like and subscribe on YouTube. All our ranking episodes will be split by position and be available on YouTube. So take a look there. Also, download our episodes on all audio podcast platforms.
You're ready for this episode. I could tell.
Apple,
you're already in mid-season
Spotify,
form.
YouTube, you name it. You name the platform where there you'll be able to download and give us 5-star reviews, because that's a great way to support
because that's what we deserve.
Vince,
yeah.
When we talk about our rankings,
yeah,
are people going to join our listener league and actually use our rankings?
They could. It's just our listener league is more with salaries than rankings, so
it doesn't matter.
That's a good point.
It'll be hard because someone like our first top 10 ranking, our first top 10 forwards or goalies or defensemen, you can maybe take one or two of those in our listener league because of the salaries these guys make. So it's a good platform to see where all the players who are making less money, like on ELC contracts, and where they're ranked.
Yeah.
So that's where I would use it and see for the listener league.
Why don't you tell people where they could actually join our listener league?
They could join it by... So our listener league is filling up. You can join us by messaging us on our platforms. We'll send you the link. The only thing we ask is that you are a subscriber or a follower on any platform, either audio or YouTube. And basically, it's 15 American. No, it's
15 American. You got it right.
15 American to join, and it's a salary cap league. So you're picking 2 centers, 2 right wings, 2 left wings, 2 defensemen, 1 goalie. The catch is you only have $35 million to do away with. But the biggest thing why this league would be interesting is because every week you can change your lineup. So you're not stuck with the same lineup every week. So if you see week 1, you went to a lineup where you picked a lot of players that had 4 games instead of 2 and didn't work out for you, then week after that, well, you can change up your lineup and always tinker with it. And then at the end of the season, person with the most points leads the way.
So, guys, it's kind of like a daily fantasy league, like DraftKings presents. Promo code THPN, and instead of it being daily, it's weekly and it's cumulative for the entire year.
Yeah.
And then the person that has the most points at the end of the year wins a prize.
Yeah, exactly that.
Awesome. All right, guys, send us your DM, send us your messages. Make sure that we have you joining into this league because, like Vince said, it is filling up, and there's a fly in here that will really get on my nerves soon. But we're going to talk about you, Mr. Fly. Before we get to the fly, let's talk about everybody's most favorite topic: goalies.
Oh boy.
We're going straight into goalies.
Straight into goalies.
Can we just at least tell the listeners how we came up with our rankings?
No.
The
Yeah, okay,
most
go ahead.
unpredictable position in the game.
Okay, so this is the system we used for our consensus rankings. Myself, Junior, and Nick all made our individual rankings of forwards, defensemen, and goalies. Then we put them all together. And once we put them all together, we basically use the formula of calculating what position we put a player in, divided by 3, and then that's how we got the rankings. So I'm going to push a bit more to the
Is
left.
Vince cut off or is it just the screen?
Yeah, no, it's. I'll get the screens right. Don't worry about the screens. There's still audio people that watch
Okay,
us.
so basically that's how we got our rankings. We do have there are some players where we have different opinions about, which is going to be what's going to be fun about this episode is that we're going to discuss and why we put our players on which ranking. So we're going to start. Well, like Nick said, we're going to have 3 episodes: one for goalie, one for defensemen, one for forwards. Just easier if you're looking for just goalies, you just click on the episode of goalies. If you're looking for defensemen, you click on the episode of defensemen. It's just a simpler way to do it, and also for us, just concentrate on one position at a time to talk about. So we're starting with goalies.
Let's start with goalies because this episode will be our goalie episode. We will have another episode coming up for defensemen and another one for forward. So if you guys want to listen to the forward one, look at episode 108. If you want to listen to the defenseman one, it's going to be episode 107. The goalies one is episode 106. And
They're all going to be published at some point this week.
they're all going to be published this week. Exactly correct. So, Vince, why don't you just tell us who the top guy is while I get this set up here?
Yeah, of course.
Stolars.
Yeah, exactly. Stolars is our top guy. No, so the top 3 guys, it was very it wasn't a very difficult I mean, it's the obvious ones. We had Hellebuck at number 1, Vasilevsky at number 2, Igor Shesterkin at number 3. I mean, I don't think there's any argument when it comes to these 3 players. Connor Hellebuck, until someone dethrones him from his position, I don't think we can argue it. Vasilevsky had a great comeback season from his back injury last year, and we're all expecting Igor Shesterkin to become the Igor Shesterkin that we know this year with the Rangers. So it'll be a very interesting layout. Why don't you just do a solo layout, Nick?
You make it sound like it's easier.
Well, no, it's because I saw solo layout there. So that's us. You can do a solo layout with that one.
Yeah, well, if you remove us from the stage, you won't hear us.
Oh, you won't hear us. Okay, so I got you.
Yeah, it's okay. Let's keep going.
Yeah, he'll just keep like update it on and off or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. If you want.
Okay, so just to jump in, like so Shesterkin's at number 3, and because it'll be a theme for me, one of the things I took into consideration was I mentioned the last episode talking about the Edmonton Oilers, or a couple of episodes ago. It's the Olympics. The Olympics is a big factor for me in doing the rankings. And the reason it's a big factor with Russians is because Russians won't be going to the Olympics. So they get that 2-week rest. And for superstar elite players like Shesterkin, I think that he plays a lot of games. So not going, like getting a 2-week break will be huge, I think, for him and the Rangers this year. And they also have Panarin. So that's big for him too. So yeah, that was why, despite below average for his standards last year, I had him ranked pretty high this year, and that goes for Vasilevsky too, by the way.
Yeah.
Also Russian.
Listen, I think this year in all leagues this year, every position Russians will have an advantage because they're not part of the Olympics. So, listen, I'll name off the top 10 that we have right now. So the top 10 in goalies is Connor Hellebuck, number 1, Vasilevsky, number 2, Igor Shesterkin, number 3, Ottinger 4, Blackwood 5, Bobrovsky 6, Gustafsson 7, Lucas Dostal 8, Sorokin 9, and Sam Montembeault 10.
I have a question.
You tell me who surprises you on this top 10, Nick.
Where did you guys have Dostal? Because I had him 5.
I had him 8.
I did not have Dostal. Lucas Dostal. Sorry, they're in alphabetical order, to make it easier. A, B,
Is that easier?
C, D, E, F, G. I had him 20th.
Wow. Okay, so explain that.
I had him 20 because he doesn't play with a very good team.
No.
I don't think Anaheim's going to be a team that's going to be even close to competing. So, to me, in a goaltending, wins are very important. Yes, shutouts give you a bit more points, but wins are mostly what gives you the points. So I feel he's not going to get the wins that other goalies will get. And that's why, to me, I had him positioned at 20.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because, I mean, when I take a look at Dostal, I think that he had very, very good numbers last year. And at the same time, you're right. I might be a little bit higher on Anaheim than you are. I don't know if they're necessarily a playoff team, but I think they're right there in the bubble, in the mix for the Western Conference. And the Western Conference is not as strong as the East. So Dostal's competition might not be as high as some of these Eastern goalies. And we already have 2 out of 3 Eastern goalies rated top 3 in this. So I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think the Islanders are that good of a team either, but we have Sorokin at 9.
But
right? So that's right next to Dostal.
So I'll tell you,
even Minnesota with Gustafsson.
Sorokin is at 9 because, Nick, you had him at 8. Junior had him at 9. I had Sorokin at 16. Once again,
I had Sorokin at 10, no? 10? Who?
But are you basing everything on wins? Or are you basing it on save percentage, on shots against, on saves?
But most of their points are coming off the wins. Even if you go shots against or saves, okay. I based my goalie rankings. I based it mostly on wins, and then what kind of goals against average you're going to get. Because Sorokin is not playing on a very good team, just like Dostal.
He still was one top goalies last year, and he wasn't playing on a good team.
So that's why I put him. I had him at 20. I think other goalies We'll talk about another goalie that we had very high, that I had very high, and he's not in the top 10. But yeah, so that's the way I rank my goalies.
Just to touch on Dostal, I think there's going to be a bit of a shakeup in that division too. I think that's a division where there could be some surprises. I spoke of Edmonton already last episode as like a bold prediction, which is ridiculous, but I can see LA dropping a little bit. So I see a potential opening there. For a team to surprise, and I think Anaheim could possibly do it. They finally made the moves to surround their youth. They didn't just keep adding youth or wait for their youth to develop. They added they started with Trouba, then they had Gudas already. They brought in Kreider. I think I'm missing someone, but they brought in someone else as well. So they're really starting to shape up and now say, okay, this is the time that we got to start making some noise.
Okay, so Dostal was one of the big movers. Who was another one that you or we had different?
That we had different? Well, my question to you guys is, do you guys think Philip Gustafsson can do the same thing they did last year?
Jeez, I mean, he was I think in Fantrax, he was the highest rated goalie other than Hellebuck. Mm-hmm. So he was top 3 in points last year. So if you're top 3 in points, we have you rated at number 7. Some would actually tell us that that's pretty low. Minnesota wasn't a great team last year either, but Gustafsson still had the points and the fantasy points
and made the playoffs. That to me, it's like even
as a wild card. I think,
yeah, as a wild card. Like at one point, I think Georgiev had when he was playing Colorado had amazing fantasy numbers, but his goals against was 8.90. But his points all came on. He played with Colorado, so it was all wins. So like even
Yeah,
McKenzie,
you rated you ranked your guys based
Always,
on wins,
yeah.
which I don't think is the way that we did it.
no. Like even Mackenzie Blackwood, for a guy who's never been a number one goalie, we all had him generally in the same position. Nick had him at 6. I had him at 5. Just Junior had him at 12, a little lower than us. But that could also be a risky pick. But you're playing with Colorado, so
the thing with Gustafsson though is that it's consistency, and that's why he dropped a little bit for me. We spoke about it during our Minnesota preview. You'll have a good year, you'll have an average or below average year. Good year, below average year. So this is the year he either proves us right that his inconsistency is right, or this is the year he starts shaping up to be who he really needs to be. And he dropped slightly. I mean, I have him 10th, but I just
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
UC Saros. I think Dom in his projections had him higher than us. We have him at 14th.
Yeah.
Is that because we think Nashville's not a good team, or is it simply because Saros himself has been a little bit shaky lately and we don't have as much faith in him lately?
I think Saros is going to bounce back from what he had last year. I don't think he had a good season last year. The problem is Saros was a good fantasy point getter, even when Nashville wasn't a top team, was just a bubble team. He always had good numbers. I remember Junior 1 year won with LPHL because he.
Well, Saros has had top 5 finishes.
Yeah, exactly. And Nashville wasn't always the top team. The one thing that worries me about Saros is if Roman Josi doesn't start that season with Nashville, that defense is looking weak. So
the thing with Saros though is the smaller goalies, and he dropped big time for me because the smaller goalies rely more on their agility and their bottom half of their bodies. But that's the one thing that the older you get, the slower you get.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're big enough to cover a lot of space. So the trend over the last 2-3 years was that he was getting worse and worse. Last 2 years compared to 3 years ago, his numbers decreased. And last year was really abysmal. I don't know if he could repeat that bad, but those were the signals that I got that said, you know what, his D-core is not good, his team is not great, and he showed back-to-back years that he got worse, and he's aging. I had to drop him for that reason.
Before we get into Saros is in our after 11, so I just want to talk about one more goalie in the top 10, and then I'll name 11 to 20. Sam Montembeault. We've all had him around that area. Is this because we all think that Montreal is a team that's going to be contending for that spot? Is he a goalie that you think could keep up what he did last year? It wasn't a one-hit wonder?
Well, look, again, this is not a team preview. This is a goalie preview, and I didn't base my goalie stats on wins. I based my goalie stats on performance. So, wins is part of the calculation for me, but not that big of a part. You seem to have weighed wins a lot more than the rest of us. For me, Sam Montembeault has shown that he could be a good goalie in this league, and he is starting a lot. So even though he's I don't see Dobesh stealing starts from him. No. I don't see Kakkonen stealing starts from him. So you're talking about Sam Montembeault, 50 plus starts this year.
He had 62 games played last year.
So
I don't see that changing much.
Like in most fantasy leagues that I'm in, if you play more, even if your team's not good, you're getting more points because you're getting saves, you're getting more chances to win, right? So all of these things play a factor in my rankings. Hellebuck, what does he do? He plays almost all the games. Vasilevsky, what does he do? He plays almost all the games. Shesterkin, what does he do? He plays almost all the games. Ottinger plays almost all the guys that I rated in my top 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are guys that play all the time. Whereas once you hit past those top 10, now we're looking at guys that maybe fall off a bit, don't play 60 games a season, right? You might be looking at maybe a lot worse teams than these teams that we see here.
Okay, so to tell our listeners, 11 to 20, we have Aiden Hill at 11, Jacob Markstrom at 12, Linus Allmark at 13, UC Saros that we spoke about at 14, Dustin Wolf, who had a phenomenal season last year, at 15, Jeremy Swayman at 16, Thatcher Demko at 17, Logan Thompson at 18, Jordan Binnington at 19, and Darcy Kemper at 20. So from 11 to 20, what are we? One of the names that sticks out to me, especially that we just finished talking about volume, is Aiden Hill. Because I don't think he has a backup that's going to take up his position.
You're right. Aiden Hill is one of those guys that I think is going to get the wins in Vegas. He's also going to play a lot. And I think the same thing could be said of Allmark, but maybe not as many wins in Ottawa. But
you don't think Ottawa's going to...
We'll get there.
Okay.
But Aiden Hill, I just don't think he's a good goalie. I think he's in a good situation.
Okay.
So for me, the reason he's even in this stratosphere of top 10, where it just barely misses the top 10, is because he's on a very good team. Other than that, I don't see him being a very good player.
Aiden Hill.
Yeah.
Well, his numbers last year were really, really good in 50 starts. 2.47 goals against average, 906 save percentage. Goal save above expected was only 8, which is not bad. Quality percentage, start percentage was 52. His numbers are good. His team is good. He doesn't have a great backup. To me, I expect big things from Vegas. So, and I expect big volume from him. Like Ben said, Akira Schmid doesn't have the track record to steal games from anybody. Right now, training camp hasn't fully started. We don't know who they can add off waivers or whatever. But primarily, putting all that together, Aiden Hill for me should be a top 10 goalie that you aim for. He checks all the boxes.
All right. So we have Linus Allmark last year was... I don't even know how to explain Linus Allmark. He was top 15 in fantasy points, only played 44 games.
He was injured.
25 wins, 14 losses. If he ups those games played, do you think he can crack the top 10?
Oh, absolutely. I think anybody here in the 10 to 15, even 17, I think any one of those guys could move into the tier of the top 10.
Okay.
Right? Like, I don't think there's that much separating Aiden Hill, Markstrom, Allmark, even Saros that we spoke about before, Wolf, Swayman. Like, these guys are all talented guys. They could probably move into the top 10, but you have to, like, you got to pick at some point.
Yeah, no,
right?
You always have to. Does anybody scare you from 11 to 20? I have a goalie who scares me from 11 to 20.
Well, I think the biggest question mark is going to be Saros this year. Linus Allmark, it all depends on his health, because I could have easily moved him a lot lower than this. Where did I have him, by the way, in mind?
Linus Allmark, you had him at 22.
Yeah, so that was a fear of injury.
And me and Junior both had him in the top 10.
But you didn't use that same logic for Demko, though.
No, because, well, actually, Demko, where did I put him?
You put him at 10.
I put him at 10. He's at 17. It's not that big of a difference. But, like, Demko, I'm more...
Like, he has the track record of being elite.
Yes. I think Demko is a better goaltender than Allmark.
Are you guys not worried about Jeremy? Are you not worried about Jeremy Swayman at all?
Of course we are.
That's why he's not in the top 10.
I find 16 is high for a team.
It's middle of the pack for a starter.
But I think people get scared when the team is bad. But you don't have to look at it that way all the time. Don't forget, last year he had a bad year, but there was that whole contract thing. He missed all of training camp.
Exactly.
Boston will always be in games. I don't know if they're going to win that many, but they're always going to be in games, and he's going to be a big reason why.
Guys, Dustin Wolf last year, was on a horrible team.
Well, horrible.
They were fighting horrible.
They were fighting for a playoff.
He was fighting for the playoff spot. They were riding his coattails.
Yes. So my question is, do you think Jeremy Swayman can come back to be that goalie?
He's proven in the past that he's a very solid goalie.
Yes.
Last year, I think, was an off year because, like Junior aptly said, he missed all of training camp. He had contract disputes. All of that was a distraction for him. And we all know, goalie, you got to be focused. You got to be in. I think this is a bounce back season for Swayman. I think his team is not very good. I think they might even finish last in the East.
But
not in the East, sorry, in the Atlantic.
In the Atlantic, yeah.
But for me, he might still steal some games.
Okay. So you're expecting the Swayman of like
Yeah.
this year will be. I think this year will determine what Swayman really is. Is he that Swayman that was at 920 save percentage?
Well, look, that's it.
goals
Like
against
prior to last year, his save percentages were 916, 920, 914
exactly.
in 37 games or more. So
which
like,
is insane.
which is really
You
good.
just
And
spoke to me
he's
about
so
Aiden
young.
Hill at 907,
Yeah.
and you were calling it good.
Yeah.
Swayman was 914.
Yeah.
That's not a small difference.
And
That's a
goals
huge
against
difference.
average 2.5 or less in those 3 years. So
He had a better team.
He
in
had
front
a
of him,
really good team.
right?
He had a really good team.
Final three players in this loop. Just quick because I think they each have a backup that can take up their position. Logan Thompson, Jordan Binnington, Darcy Stamper. They're 18, 19, 20.
Okay, so
Out of these three, do you see any of these players losing their first? Like, are they 1B on their team, or do you feel that they're going to get most of the starts and then there's a backup?
So I think the next three guys that you're looking at is the 1As.
Mhm.
So Logan Thompson's a 1A. I think Binnington is a 1A plus because I think he plays more games than a 1A would normally
Yeah.
play. I think Darcy Kemper is the most risky out of those three guys.
Who's his backup Kemper again? They just signed.
They
him.
just signed Forsberg.
Forsberg,
Anton
okay,
Forsberg.
yeah.
And Kemper he showed he was good.
Yeah.
But I still feel like he might lose a few starts.
I feel that with Binnington. I think Hofer this year is there to make that jump.
Yeah.
I like Hofer a lot. I wouldn't be surprised. It's just Binnington is such a
He's a key.
he's such a key to that team. I don't know.
Joe?
He's the reason Binnington is the one that worries me the most is because St. Louis
You too.
is not because I don't have faith in him. I think he'll be fine. But the problem is St. Louis is invested in Hofer. So, and meaning like
More so than Binnington?
well, Binnington has 2 seasons left. So and Hofer is the guy that's eventually going to take his spot. When his contract's over, it's not going to be Binnington that's going to be starting for the Blues.
You people said that about Spencer Knight.
Yeah, but that was
No, but it's
he had
similar.
issues.
It's similar.
He had
Why?
issues.
Binnington doesn't have issues.
What do you mean Binnington doesn't have issues?
Like mental issues.
No, I thought you were referring to Hofer.
No, but I'm saying that you don't know. You don't know. You're assuming that because Hofer's there and he's the younger player, that Hofer is eventually going to take over for Binnington, and that Hofer is going to be the heir apparent and stay the heir apparent for a while. Guys, you don't know that. Binnington still has 2 years left on his contract, and he could steal a couple of rounds in the playoffs, and they say, you know what? We don't need anybody else. We have Binnington. Let's ship Hofer out and get a forward.
Hofer is not just the next
gonna
heir
agree
apparent.
with you.
He has numbers.
How much is
He's doing well
So Spencer
in the
Knight was
30
fine.
in the 30 games that he's plays a
I'm
year.
gonna agree with you only. What's Hofer's salary?
Not much.
Because Binnington is 6. So if you're resigning him, you're signing him on more than 6. So is he worth that? In 2 years, it's gonna be. Is he worth more than 6 than Hofer that you're paying at?
Guys,
Like,
Binnington
this
has
thing is-
very good numbers.
Nick, I'm not saying that, but you as a team, as a GM,
But Binnington
In
is
2
32
years.
years old too.
he's 34. Are you willing to pay him more than 6?
Their contracts end at the same time.
Yeah, more. And what does Hofer have?
3.4.
So at
So
that
6
point,
and
they're gonna-
3.4.
that's 9 million in goalies. So
It's not much.
9 million, but then they're each gonna have to get a raise.
Yeah.
So let's say you pay Bin.
Well, I'm not saying that you keep both.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that there's no guarantee
that Hofer is going to be.
that
Hofer's
Hofer's going to be the guy. When I saw Logan Thompson, okay, get shipped out of Vegas for Aiden freaking Hill.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't tell me that there's a guarantee that Binnington is the guy that's moving out. You
Nick,
just can't.
There's
You don't know.
2 things in life that are guaranteed: taxes and debt.
It's death and taxes, but you got it
Actually,
right.
Taxes and debt. Yeah.
Why do you have
All
to do everything backwards? Okay.
Third tier. So 21 to 30. So 21, we have Joey Decord. 22, Anthony Stolars. 23, Nick.
Carol Vejmelka.
There we go. 24, Stuart Skinner. 25, Jet Greaves. 26, John Gibson. 27, Kochkov. 28, Spencer Knight. 29, Connor Ingram. Interesting. 30, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Junior, I'm going to start with you. Out of these 10 names, which one is
Who ranked Connor Ingram? Anyways, we'll get there.
Junior? Junior ranked Connor Ingram, and I think you did too.
I
No?
ranked him
I
at
did.
45 though. Okay.
There's no way that he's this high on anybody's list.
No.
I think your averages are wrong here.
No, yeah. That's why. These guys not supposed to be here. Yeah, you're right. Connor Ingram is not supposed to be there, Nick. You're right.
Okay, so let's just forget about Connor Ingram because we're gonna get embarrassed as a podcast.
Doesn't matter. But the guy that stands out to me because of how he ended last year is Jet Greaves at 25. I mean, I think we all had him ranked more or less at the same place here, but that's a guy that could easily jump. This is which tier? 4?
This is tier. Well, there's no real.
But I mean, he could enter like top 15 if he's the guy. The problem is we don't know if they're going to start the season as him being the guy.
Okay, so here's the thing. I think what we're seeing in this tier, and I think Joy Decord is a little bit, and the Jamelka should be a little bit higher here, but I think what we're seeing in this tier is players that do not have a guaranteed starting role necessarily, or maybe it's a 1A, 1B system again.
Yeah.
So you're not necessarily looking at people that are starting 60 games, right? So Joy Decord, I think, has a solid role here.
You have no faith in Grubauer?
Nobody has faith in Grubauer, my friend. Joy Decord has a very solid space here. So he should be on this list. Might even be a little bit higher than here. Like I would probably have him higher. But anyways, Anthony Stolarz, question with his how many games is he going to play? I think that's the only reason you see him here.
Yeah.
If Anthony Stolarz played more games, he would be much higher on this list. Vejmelka, I think I had him much higher than this because
I didn't have him that high.
I had him very high because he plays the majority of games. And not only does he play the majority of games, but I think Utah is a sneaky wildcard team this year.
The reason he dropped a
You
little
had
bit for
him
me was
at,
just Connor Ingram coming back.
So you had him at 16, Nick. I had him
I
at
had him
20,
at 16. There you go.
23, and Junior had him at 32.
Jeez. Why so low on Vejmelka?
I don't know.
Show me his stats.
The uncertainty. It was more the uncertainty.
I've never seen uncertainty with him.
What do you mean?
He plays all the games. He has no backup that could take over.
Why? You're totally discounting Connor Ingram.
Yes.
I have him at 45, Connor Ingram, but
I don't even know if Connor Ingram is on this team.
Look, save percentage.
They have Vanacek also.
Yeah, but Vanacek is like a junk.
He's
He's trash. He's complete trash.
Remember,
Okay,
they were dependent.
904,
I like
904
Ingram.
save
But
percentage.
he hasn't played a game. He hasn't played a game last year.
No, he played. He went mid-season. He went out.
He wasn't good though. He wasn't good though last year.
But last year he came out as the number one goalie for Utah until he
of course, because the year before he stole the job.
So we can't just give that to Vanacek, who
Vejmelka. Oh yeah, I mean, but
Vanacek as a
I think
backup.
Vejmelka is the definite starter
for
to
sure.
start. But at any point, like he did last time, Ingram can steal the job.
What's his goals again saved above expected?
11.75.
That's better than half the goalies you mentioned before him. I'm going to convert you, my friend.
But
I'm going to convert
look,
you.
I'm rooting for him because we own him, and the rest of the Utah
What's his
goalies.
goals against average?
2.58. But that's the first time he was under 3.2 in goals against average.
Save percentage?
904. Again, the first time he's above 900.
But you're still talking about previous, like, I'm going to go back here.
When he was the starter in Arizona, 50 games played, 52 games played. Again, bad team. 900 save percentage, 898 save percentage, goals against average of 3.5 average, so they're not.
You spoke to me
great.
about Aiden Hill that you have 11th. And we have Vejmelka here at 23. That's 12 spots different.
Yeah, 100%.
And they have the same save percentage and the same goals against average.
Was the better team.
Yeah, but you have 1 year's worth. You have 58 games worth of good numbers.
Aiden Hill hasn't played.
He has
as a
back-to-back
starter.
years of good numbers.
Yeah, but I know, guys, we've been praising Vegas all this time that they have one of the best teams, the Stanley Cup contenders. Stuart Skinner shouldn't be on any of these lists. He's on this list because he plays with the Edmonton Oilers. You know he's going to get his wins. He's going to pop out with those 3 games where he's going to get 2 shutouts, and that's why they're.
Well,
that's why
in his case, it's just wins because
Yes.
his numbers are really not that great.
No. Okay, so
Guys, please ignore the Connor Ingram thing. It's just a mistake on
there's
the
2
on
mistakes.
the
So
additions.
there's Connor Ingram and there's the next one, Jacob Dobish. Those are 2 mistakes. And Jonathan Quick, 24th, 34th. So it's because I added them, but they were basically alone because one you each.
It's fine. I mean,
you each
it
had them in
happens.
the ranking, so it basically took the formula and give them a big number. So that's why they're there. Okay.
Divided by 2 instead of 3.
So, anyways, I like Vidjamelka a lot. I think he should be higher on this list. I had ranked him at 16.
Kochikov. Is he starting? Or is it Frederick Anderson for Carolina?
But I
That's
think
the problem.
That's the problem.
That's the
so
problem.
that's why we have him that low?
I think it's the 1A, 1B system,
Okay.
which if you're playing, like, I love Stolars. I love Jet Greaves. I love Kochikov. But if you're only playing 45 games, you're not going to have as much fantasy exposure. And that hurts, right? Like, there's like other guys like Charlie Lindgren, for example,
Yeah.
right? You don't know how many games he's going to end up playing. And that's what scares me.
So, John Gibson, new team. We have him at 26.
Where did I have him, please?
John Gibson, let me tell you now. Sheet 5 goalies. John Gibson, 21, 26, 29. So we had him all in approximately the same areas in this tier, basically between 21.
I had him at the head of this tier
Yes,
because
exactly.
I think that
Do you think he'll make a difference?
I think he's going to be the unquestioned starter on this team.
No, for sure. Well, they have 20 goalies, so you never know. But
Yeah, you
but
never
yes, I agree with you. So I think he could be the one guy that could boost into the top.
Look,
20.
I always fear when a team that has a big need fills the need, and we all expect it to be a game changer. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he doesn't have a great track record either, Gibson. I know he was on bad teams, but like that's why like sometimes like it's not just about numbers either, right? You got to take everything into consideration. And yeah, he's going to a new team. It's very unpredictable for me. So that's a guy that I would personally try to stay away from because of the unpredictability of the position, of his play, and being on a new team. It's not even to say his new team is great.
Yeah.
It's not like he's the missing piece to them being a contender. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's do 30 to 41 because now we're getting a lot.
Well, I just wanted to mention Spencer Knight just got an extension.
Yes.
So important to note that he's going to be in Chicago and probably the
I
starter
wanted
for
to
a
ask you
while.
guys,
So
what do you guys expect?
Yeah, but what message does that send? Does that send that they don't have that Comesso? They don't think Comesso is ready to come up?
I think he's nowhere near ready.
So because I mean, Spencer Knight was drafted high, was rated very high. So I mean, I think this signing is it's a win-win. I mean, there's no losing. It's not like you're competing for Stanley Cup with Chicago Blackhawks, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're giving. I think Comesso's going to come up soon. He might be a backup
Mm-hmm.
to start, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But Chicago has their time, so they have all kinds of time to like play these guys around and see who's going to stick. What I really want to tell
You can
people,
never have enough goalies.
No, you can never have enough
They
goalies.
also have. Is it? Do they have Harbaugh or the other guy?
They have Rabal.
Rabal?
I think
yeah.
Gajan
Rabal.
is
Gajan is
Utah. I think.
Another thing I'll mention here is that Toronto fans, please don't yell at us. Technically, if you have a daily lineup where you could switch your goalies day in and day out, Joseph Woll and Stolars together would probably be in the top 15 or higher. All right. But because we're ranking goalies individually here, that's where they drop because we don't know how many games Woll is going to play compared to Stolars. And that uncertainty brings them on the bottom of the top 32, let's say.
Oh, man, you guys really don't think Stolars is running away with the...
I really don't. No, I don't think he's played that many
31.
games in his career, and he's proven it again last year that he kind of doesn't
He
play.
got hurt. So
They're gonna ride the hot hand.
yeah, so 30 to 40, I'm going to give you the right ones because, like I said, there was a few mistakes on the PowerPoint that I made. So 30, you have Joseph Woll. 31, you have Askarov. 32, Frederick Anderson, who's we already named the other goalie, Kochikov. 33, Kevin Lankinen. Why? Because
He's the best backup goalie in the league.
exactly. 34,
If you think about it, right?
Samuel-
33 is right out of that
Yeah.
starting category.
34, Samuel Urson, who we all, I think, are consensus that he will get the starting job at Philly. 35, Elvis Merzlinkis. 36, Hofer. 37, Talbot. 38, Charlie Lindgren. 39, Forsberg. 40, Jake Allen. Junior, who do you want to talk about in what I just named?
Well, this just happened yesterday, I believe, or today. Columbus acquired Fedotov from the Flyers.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell does that mean?
That means that
Because
Merzlikins- they're
Fedotov
not
came
res-
from Russia to play in the National Hockey League, not the AHL. Does that mean like they need a third goalie and then they're just going to put him on waivers and see if someone picks him up? Or do you guys think he's got a legit shot at cracking the top two goaltend, like the top two goalies of the Columbus Blue Jackets?
Okay, so here's the way I would phrase it. I think Jet Greaves is ready to take over this team. However, he's played how many games in the NHL?
7 plus 11, 9 plus 11, not even 20 games.
Say 20. You can't be
And not in one season.
Exactly. So you can't be going into the season saying to yourself, this guy that played 20 games, he's my savior.
Yeah.
He's going to play all the games because I'm fighting for a playoff spot, because Columbus's goal is a playoff spot. That's their goal.
Fighting for a playoff spot. After last year, it has to be that. Just like Montreal. After last
Yes,
year, it has
yes.
to be fighting for a playoff spot.
And I watched the hockey guy.
Yeah.
He did his predictions on who's going to make it. He had Columbus, I think, 5th. He had Montreal 6th.
This year, so reverse.
Not making the playoffs. Neither of them making the playoffs. But so if that's the case, if it's not Jet Greaves, because I'm not relying all my playoff hopes on a guy that's played less than 20 games in the NHL. I think Fedotov is one of those battle it out in camp guys. And Merzlikins is going to be in. I don't know if he's going to be 1A, 1B, but he's going to be in there. So if they think Jet Greaves needs a little bit more time in the AHL, then Fedotov comes in as a backup.
And guys, like, don't forget, because of the Olympics, so many back-to-back games.
I know.
So if you do have daily lineups, your best bet might be to go get that Stollers and Wool or any of those 1A, 1Bs, because this year they'll be more important than ever because of all the back-to-back games.
This year it's important for you to know all of the names on this list.
Yes.
And not just the top 20 guys.
But do you not think? Relax. Yeah, because we're gonna talk about Levy. Do you guys?
Tristan Jarry is 48th on this list.
exactly.
Okay?
I can't believe he made the list. Where's Silovs?
He's there too.
45.
But the question is, with Columbus, just quick, do you think they're gonna buy out Merzlikins?
No.
Or try to trade him?
No, I
They
don't
tried
think
last year, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's taking that contract for sure.
Yeah, I think they're stuck with Merzlikins, but he's not a bad goalie.
No,
He's just not a 1A type guy, right? So
one more guy, young goalie. We're gonna talk. Probably last goalie we're gonna talk about. Askarov on a San Jose team that we all believe is heading in the right direction, not ready to make that jump.
great team to cheer for. Lots of hope for the future, but it's not going to be this year.
Okay, so
They're going to probably finish last again.
do we think his numbers are going to be improved from last year? Because last year, if you remember, at some point,
310 goals against average,
Yeah.
896 save percentage in 13 games with San Jose.
who's his backup right now?
Nedeljkovic
Okay, so I'm guessing they got
and
insurance.
Romanov, I think. But
So look, at the end, I think Askarov is that third or fourth goalie that you draft
Mhm.
after your two starters, and I think we've ranked him appropriately here, where he's kind of that third or fourth goalie that you're going to draft,
Exactly.
just in case one of you have an injury, one of those guys, and you need some starts. You throw Askarov in there because he's going to get starts. He won't get the wins necessarily
No.
because San Jose is not a good
No,
team.
exactly.
Fun team, but not a great
You
team.
might get that those points on save percentage, saves.
Exactly, especially category leagues.
Yeah.
Like it's important to know who these guys are because
they
they're
added
your
a few
backups.
vets on the back end, like Letty and Klimberg.
They
Neither great
they
defensively,
surrounded them-
maybe,
they
but
surrounded themselves with good backups. So at this point, we'll see how it goes. So last goalies before we get into the final say.
Before we get to the final say, let's have a word from our sponsor.
your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime TD props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. So week 2 is practically in the books here. You can
What a week.
What a week.
Did you see that Dallas game?
That Dallas game was wild, man.
I had a heart attack. They were my survivor pick. Dallas was my survivor pick.
Yeah, it was
That
mine
a heart
too,
attack.
actually. Wild times. But I mean, that's two teams in the same division. You could still bet on division winners, conference winners, or Super Bowl champions. So there's a lot of future bets and player props available. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code THPN. That's code THPN to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube Live TV. In partnerships with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL Sunday Ticket/terms. Limited time offer.
All right. So final words about goalies, guys.
So goalies can win you and lose you a fantasy league. That's guaranteed. They're the wild card you guys said from the beginning. They're like can't use that saying, but
okay. So in the end, guys, I'm looking at this list and there's a lot of potential for this list to be totally wrong. And the reason I say that is because of the fact that goalies are voodoo. And you can never predict what a goalie is. So sometimes what you want to predict on really is how many games are going to start.
Yeah.
Try to follow the money, because usually if a goalie is getting paid more, well, then he's probably starting more as well. So keep that in mind. And please, Toronto fans, don't yell at us. Stolars and Wool, I actually have them very high if this was them together playing 82 games. But unfortunately, we don't know how many starts either of them is going to get, so that's the reason for them being lower here. And Lucas Dostal for Vezina. Let's go. Outro music, please.
Looking forward to the defenseman.
Next episode 107. Hopefully, it's not going to be a 48-minute one. This guy said we had nothing to talk about for goalies.
Wow, you guys went off topic like always.
Did we talk about anything other than goalies?
All right, peeps. Have a good night.
Have a good week.